Okay guys, hopefully I'm in frame for this. So we're going to test the duty cycle today. So what is duty cycle? Duty cycle is the amount of time you can weld continuous. It's normally rated as a percentage of the amount of time that out of 10 minutes that you can weld continuous. So this particular welder is rated at 90 amps. You should have a 20% duty cycle, which means you should be able to weld for 2 minutes out of every 10 minutes. So, going off that, I'm going to have my amp meter clamped on the output so we can make sure that we're averaging close to 90 amps or above. We're going to pretty much max it out to do that, because it actually, on my previous tests, it actually, I mean, it'll do a little over 100 for a little while, but it seems to average around 90. Anyway, so we're gonna have the amp meter clamped on here. We're going to, sorry, I'm probably out of frame. So we're gonna have the amp meter clamped on here. We're gonna run it. Try and keep it at an average of 90 amps or above. We're going to run it for 2 minutes continuous, let it rest for 8 minutes, and then go right back in, run it for 2 minutes continuous again, 8 minutes. I figure if it can make it through at least 2 cycles of that without over-temping and tripping out, tripping a breaker or something like that, my circuit here is really good. My landlord has made sure of that. So as far as 110, I can run maxed out. So that shouldn't be a problem. So we should be able to thoroughly test the duty cycle on this. If it can make it through a couple of rounds of 2 minutes on, 8 minutes off, then it's met its spec. That's all you can expect. I suspect it won't really have any problem. It's hasn't shown any signs of problems yet, but there's only one way to find out, right? So let's get to it. Okay, well, my camera's screwed up, but I did 2 minutes worth of welding and then started the 8-minute cool down cycle. It did not overload, but I welded this top string here and immediately, without stopping, went right back into this. This is still hot. I just cleaned it up. I didn't clean it up in between runs because I didn't want it to have a break. So that was 2 minutes of welding at probably around 100 amps. And then as soon as this hits about 8 minutes, I will do it again. Man, there's just no way to get good view on that, is there? Turn it. Oh, that's better. It really moves some air. And it's not even warm air. My problem is I can't hear that timer when it goes off. Alright. Back to the timer. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds so I can get prepped. Alright, let's do the stopwatch again. We'll try one more round of this. The first one wasn't on camera, so just to make sure nobody thinks I'm cheating, we're going to do it again. Now you can tell the air coming out has a slightly elevated temperature, but it's not really even warm. It's warm, maybe ever so slightly warmer than the outside. Alright, here we go again. That's the timer. Well, there was no failures there. That's the third time in a row, 2 minutes. I'm running out of clean sides to weld on this thing. So I'm going to call that. I'm going to say it meets its duty cycle as far as I can tell. Provided that the amps I see on here when I review this are at least 90. Well, it did it. As far as I'm concerned, it looks, at the end, the amperage was tailing off. I think that's partly because that piece was getting so hot it didn't take as much amperage to melt the metal and the wire. But it was still really close to 90. It was probably averaging about 90. But that was 3 cycles. The first one didn't get on camera. Sorry about that. I'm using an old Samsung Galaxy S4 as a camera, and it's sometimes a little finicky about its battery or the SD card or whatever. Anyway, we lost the first batch, but I showed you the welds, and it did 2 more in a row without any problem. So it was 3 cycles of 2-minute continuous welding, never overheated. So it's met its spec. Here at a later date, after I've done the other tests I want to get done, we'll do a torture test. We'll see how long it can weld continuous before it does overtemp, and then we will wait till it turns back on, the overtemp resets, and we'll go right back to it, and we'll do it again, and we'll probably do that 3 or 4 times, or until I run out of wire, whichever comes first. But we'll abuse it, and we'll see if it can stand up to it while it's still under its warranty here. I'd be interested to see how tough it really is. So we're going to. If it blows up, it'll be under warranty. I can go back and get another one. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.